Wisconsin. And guess what? Guess what? I'm so excited. We have tonight Josh Novey in the house. He is a fantastic comedian. He is currently living in Arizona, which I just found out. Now, he's not from Arizona, but he is living in Arizona with his family and just down the road from where I used to live. I know I've lived everywhere, all over the place. But because my husband is from Phoenix, Arizona, I did in fact live there, and actually Chandler, Ahwatukee area. So super excited that Josh is here. You guys know him and you love him. He is so funny. I want to play a clip really quick before we bring him on. This is one of his bits from Dry Bar Comedy. And thank you, of course, to Dry Bar for always being so gracious and allowing us to use the clips and not flagging us and pulling us down. So Godspeed, friends. Here we go with Josh Novey.
I have a hard time talking to people, like, just in general, right? I have, like, you ever have, like, the word mumbles? You know what I'm talking about? Like, I think I'm gonna say something, but by the time it's in my mouth, it's all scrambled up and weird, right? Like, I think I'm gonna go up to a girl and hit on her and be like, hey, girl. Did you get that face at McDonald's? Because I'm loving it. What happens is, I walk over to the lady, I'm like, hey, your face looks like a chicken McNugget. I got honey mustard in the truck. You want to take a dip? I see that lady at a party, right? And I was like, last time I saw her, boy, it was awkward, right? So I'm trying to think of something to say to her to, like, get the conversation started again, and nothing came out. So I looked her right in the eyes and I said, hope you have a safe walk home. And she was like, what? And I was like, I'll see you in heaven. Like, that's not... They knew. If anything happened to her, they knew where to look. They were gonna... My pastor gives bad advice. I wish he gave better advice. Everybody, like, every time I talk to my pastor, he's always saying things like, Josh, count it all joy, because your faith produces patience, right? Which to me, all he's saying is, Josh, I know your life sucks, but that's never going to end. So, don't you want good advice at church, right? I want to walk in, I want my pastor to be like, hey, here's the Powerball numbers, see you on Monday. Like, that's... Right? Don't you wish we had, like, fortune cookies for Christians to make us feel better about ourselves? Right? You open it up, and it says, hey, man, you're too blessed to be stressed. Right? Or you open it up and it says, hey, at least you're not liberal. You know, something... Listen, if you're liberal, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like middle of the road. It's fine. It's okay. It's my job to make jokes about that. It's okay. I'm so sorry. If you're liberal. Also, if you're liberal, a job is the thing you go to. Go to a job, you get money from the job. Like, it's kind of like a parent you go to. I was debating doing that because it's going to be on the internet, and you know who's on the internet? Everyone. So... They'd be like, what happened to that fat guy? Oh, he got canceled. He got canceled. God bless him. You guys, Josh Novey. How are you?
Hey, JoAnn.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. And no offense to liberals, we love everybody. So
I love everyone, y'all. I'm a hippie at heart. My fiance is a hippie. We're okay.
They're just jokes. Everybody calm down. Stop throwing your computers out the window. We're allowed to be funny. So, Josh, I'm so glad that you're here. I mean, your stuff is hilarious. And again, thank you to Dry Bar Comedy. They are so gracious and always allowing us to run those clips. And I think they actually kind of like the fact that we do. So I think it's wonderful. Yeah, and I love Dry Bar, and I love the fact that you're a clean comic and you're funny. You're not throwing in all kinds of cuss words and throwing people down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was thinking, when I was like, well, I want to work clean, and I was like, well, if I want to work clean, I can't be funny. So it just, that's like the caveat. If you want to be clean, you can't be funny. No, that's never mind. Okay, my brain's not working right now.
But you can be clean and you can be funny.
You can be clean. This is what I find. Personally that when you're forced to work a certain way, it makes you become more creative in how you want to approach things. And so when you're like, okay, I have to be clean, or I have to do things a certain way, that means that you have to figure out a way to say what you want to say within the confines of a very specific situation. I find that makes me more creative, actually.
I love it. And in that particular bit that you did, you're talking about patience. And that is something, and it's funny because you're talking about your pastor and everything else. One thing we don't ever want to do is pray for patience, because we're going to get it. It's horrible. Have you ever done it?
Oh, Lord, have I ever? And did I regret that?
Yeah.
You ever like prayed for like, Lord, just open my heart and just really make me see the wisdom of your ways. And then he's like, yo, cool. You're going to be homeless is what you're going to be.
Exactly. And if you pray for patience, he's going to bring you opportunity and situations that you have to be patient through. And I'm like, okay, I learned never to do that again. And this is a true story. I had a friend back in high school. This is not funny at all, even though we're going to have a funny show. But she prayed. She kept saying, help me to lose weight, Lord, help me to lose weight. And she ended up getting in a car accident and had her jaw wired shut. Please be very careful when you pray. Be very specific is all I'm saying. And I'm not making fun of her. I'm really not. It was horrible. And she's fine now, but
she looks great though. She looks great.
She looks great. She's fabulous. She's healthy and well. But be very specific in those prayers. So now you said something else in another one of your bits that I just about rolled, because you say the kind of things that people are thinking, Josh, but they don't really necessarily want to say them. And you were talking about Waffle House. And I
got some pushback from that one, because it's just it's just a little thing. I have a joke. I don't really do anymore about I go to Waffle House, and at Waffle House it's like a bathroom you eat pancakes in. And then I even talked about, because this is absolutely true. I was in Tennessee for some shows, and I went to a Waffle House, and it was the cleanest Waffle House I had ever seen in my entire life. Right. I told the waitress, like, wow, this place is sparkling clean. And she goes, yeah, someone was murdered here last night.
No.
Yeah. I swear on. Yeah. And then same waitress. And then she had a dip of chew in her lip. And I was like, this is the best Waffle House I've ever been to. And it was fantastic. Great food. Wonderful food.
But she wasn't serious, Josh, was she?
Yes, absolutely she was.
Oh my gosh. All right. So and we're not dogging on Waffle House. Waffle House is
I love Waffle House.
Love it. But there's something
like those snobs over at Denny's.
Huddle House. What's up? No.
Hoity people.
It's so funny though. Who hasn't been to a Waffle House at 3:00 in the morning back in the day? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just, way back in the day.
Way back. Mm-hmm.
Way back in the day. But so talk to me about your journey, Josh. And I also want to talk about the fact that you're a vet. I am too.
Yeah.
And
thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. And I want to hear about your experience and all of that. But let's start with comedy. When you knew you were funny, how it got started. I always love to ask people that question.
I started, I was a preacher's kid. So I found, and we moved around a lot. And there's some preacher's kids that are like, they stayed in the one place their whole life, whatever. We did not. We were moving every year, sometimes more often than that. So I lived in a lot of places, and I found being funny was a way that I could easily make friends and quickly. I didn't think anything of it. Of course, I always thought that you were just born Jerry Seinfeld. And then, they just put you on stage. I didn't think anything, whatever. So I joined the Army. I always wanted to be in the military or the police. And so I joined the Army. I became a combat medic. And I found that while we're, during Iraq, we would, we have bad days, just like, war happens. And what happened is that at the end of these bad days or these traumatic experiences, people would kind of come and surround me, and then I would just start goofing off, and I would make jokes and make fun of people, and I found that was like where I started to shine. And then of course enough people during the Army were like, well, when you get out, of course, because I was going to get out, I was chubby for the Army, so so there was free food. What was I going to do? Not eat it? And so they're like, you have to do something with this. And then I get out and I start going to school in Florida, and I found a local showcase. And I go and I watch it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to ever be able to be as good as these guys. So I watch it, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely better than these guys. And and then I found out, like, oh, you have to go to open mic, you have to do this and this and this. And that was 11 years ago, and I've been full-time for 7 years now.
And it's hard. It's life is really serious, especially right now. And there's so many things that aren't funny. And I think anytime we can interject that humor, it makes everything so much better. And I can just picture you. It's funny you said you're a combat medic, because I was too.
Oh yeah. What up, girl? Let's go get some combat casualty care, baby.
And people are shocked when I tell them, because I was in the Air Force. I was a primary dental hygienist and a secondary combat medic. And they're shocked when they say, you wore combat boots and fired an M16? Yes, I did. And you said the same thing. You said they're shocked when they find out you were in the military.
Yeah. I have a whole idea of because it's people don't believe you. Like once I think we have the same thing with fat people and women. Nobody believes that they can be combat veterans.
Yeah,
like, I don't think you can run a mile anymore. Like, I can't, but I used to be able to, a long time ago.
Well, when I tried to do the mile, I remember I threw up at the very end. They had to shove me across the thing, because I have never been a runner. But when they're like, oh, you don't look like you would have been in the military or whatever. It's like, I don't know what that means, but it's okay. And it was awesome, and I learned a lot. And same with you, I'm sure. And thank you so much for your service. And the fact, I love how it's given you experience too. And you're talking about that during your comedy, and those bits are so funny.
Yeah. Well, and we're working on because I'm trying to bring some more of that personal experience into some other shows, and how writing goes. So this is what I just thought of, is that this is absolutely true. One time I got in serious trouble because I ran 12 miles too slow. Yeah, I ran it. I didn't stop and walk. I ran it the whole way, and then I
slow.
Yeah,
and so what was your punishment? What did they do?
To run more. I had to run more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that. Yeah. Did they ever have you do like use the toothbrush and wash the baseboards and things like that? Because that was my least favorite thing.
I didn't do that. I mean, of course, in basic and AIT, which is like the technical training in Air Force tech school or whatever. Of course, you had all that stuff, but then like once you get to your regular unit, it was mostly picking weeds, or I was in Fort Hood, Texas. So moving rocks from one place to another, and then
just over and over.
Yeah, just over and over. So yeah. But
what's one thing from being in the military that you absolutely love, that you feel like changed you and the way that you live your life now?
One is I have to have short hair all the time. I can't live. I tried being a long hair hippie. In fact, I ran out of razors a couple days. This is 2 days of beard. Can you imagine? This is what life was like in the military. I had to shave twice a day. Yeah, absolutely. I had to shave twice a day. I had to get a haircut at least once a week because my hair grows so fast. And so this is 2 days of stubble, and that's I can't. I have to have short hair. And I think the biggest thing, and I think other military like yourself would say, is that the military taught me how to work, and it taught me how to be relentless in whatever pursuit it was that I was going for. So,
and I bet you're never late anywhere, are you?
I am always early. I call it annoyingly punctual.
Yeah. If we're not 15 minutes early, we're late. That's just how it is. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I was early on this too. I was waiting. So
I know. And forgive me, I was making my kids brownies because that's I had to run down to the studio, and the center of the brownies were not done. And my kids go back to, well, my youngest goes to high school tomorrow. This is her last day off. So I was making some brownies, doing the stay home mommy thing really quick before, and we've got to go get her haircut and the nails done and all that stuff today. I know.
So I have a fiance. I'm actually getting married October 2nd, but I call her my wife because we've been trying to get married for a long time now, but COVID has really put a hinder on things. And so with a lot of stuff with COVID and the pandemic, we decided that, we're just going to have a little bit of grace with ourselves, and know that where our hearts are at as far, we know it's not the perfect situation, but so she has 3 kids. They're wonderful. They're back to school now. And because Arizona hates people.
Yeah, they started in July, you said.
Yeah, the middle of July 20th, I think it was.
Wow. And tell people about this, because people don't understand that kind of heat that you're talking about. 120 degrees is a Monday. For real, it's hot over there.
Oh yeah. That's just the normal. That's like a normal thing. And then of course today, it's actually been really nice because it started raining, so the temperature dropped a little bit. But that means tomorrow it's going to be 110 degrees plus the humidity. So that's going to be because everyone's like, it's a dry heat, and you're like, no, it's not. It's not.
It's hot. I don't care how you slice that thing. It is hot. I live there too, and it's more of a dry heave. Actually,
yeah. I moved here to be with my fiance, and now I just sweat every day. And that's the game. I don't know. Do you ever play the game with your husband and go like, why are you sweaty?
No, but we could start.
Yeah.
We're always looking for new things to do. So we've been together 22 years. We keep things fresh. So tell us about the game. Yeah. We need to know. But it's you are so funny, Josh, and you're constantly creating new stuff. And what happens when people, because you were on Dry Bar, and I don't know how many specials you've done for Dry Bar, but when people see you, do they automatically know who you are, and do they just expect you to just like knock it out right now and be funny, or do they give you some grace?
Most of the time when someone recognizes me, which is getting weird now because it's fairly often, that I've done one Dry Bar special. I have another special called Fat Veteran, and that's on Amazon Prime. So I have 2 comedy specials, and then we're actually filming a 3rd compilation comedy special, in the beginning of September, in Chicago, at Willow Creek Church in Chicago. So that'll be my 3rd comedy special. And so it's weird. People recognize me, but then they think that I'm other comedians, and they're like, are you Fluffy? And I'm like, no, not Fluffy. And like, Ralphie May? No, not Ralphie May.
But the good news is they're recognizing you.
Yeah.
And they're like, we know he's somebody. We know he's a comedian. Okay, so that's step 1. Now the next step is, now you need to know my name, right? And that's going to happen as well. So I just love it. And tell me where your inspiration for your materials coming from.
Right now, we all kind of go through a genesis of our material. Of course, I kind of had this. This is going to sound this is a very comedy talk right now. I knew that as you start your career, you kind of start with you go it's like a child. You're very centralized in your image, and then you slowly work out into a world view. And so I knew that my first stuff, the first stuff that I did, would have to be very, very centered upon me, because I want people to get to know me, and then I would slowly move out. And so I'm now sort of in the middle of a thing where we're talking about families, and we're talking about children, and we're sort of moving out of the middle, and then hope eventually I'll be talking about some other universe, and then that's the goal.
What are you at your parents? You said you're a preacher's kid. Are they on board with this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
As soon as they realize I could actually make a living with it, they're like, "Oh, you're fine. You're good. Do whatever." I think here's like what, because of course we all had military. We all had some scary things that happened to us, and a couple of times I didn't know if I was gonna pull through. So in my mind, I'm like, I have an extra 14 years. I'm plus 14 years right now. So I was like, I don't care about the corporates and then all the. I mean, I love doing corporate shows, but I don't care about being a banker. I don't care about being a lawyer or anything. It's like I'm gonna do what I love, no matter what it is, and if it makes me money, great. And if I live in a shack in the woods, great. That's God. Just as long as I'm using my abilities for the kingdom, then I'm good.
What does your family say though? And I don't know if you've done this, you drag the church into your material at some point. What do they say?
They're totally in on it. They love it. And here's the thing. I don't, when I make fun of things, that liberal joke is a very specific joke that I made, that makes fun of people. That might be the only one that I really actually poke fun of any group. Because most of the time I like to be the butt of the joke, and I don't like other people to feel like they're, like they're, the like I'm a bully or anything like that. So.
No, and people have gotten sensitive. And that's why in the beginning, when we had that joke, we had to make the disclaimer. We love everybody. We're not, if they're just jokes, calm down, Yeah.
That's the world we live in. I mean, it's always been that way, but now everyone has a voice, and they can express it online. So, that's, so now it's, I don't know honestly where we're going as far as comedy wise.
Yeah.
There's we could go in two very separate directions. I just know for myself, if as long as I don't feel like I'm, like I said, as long as I don't feel like I'm bullying anyone or I'm making anyone the brunt of the joke, I think I'm good. I feel okay.
You're totally good. And you don't do that. Your comedy is amazing. It's hilarious. They're just jokes. And they're good
people.
jokes.
Just jokes. They're just jokes.
Yeah, exactly. And if in a perfect world, what would comedy look like? Because I know we've seen some changes through the pandemic, and it's changing a little bit. It's evolving. When we come out of this, what do you think you would love to see the world of comedy look like?
Of course we have big things planned for the fall, and right now we're hoping that this new Delta variant doesn't shut everything down, because if it does, I'm gonna have to get a job scrubbing toilets or something, because I don't know how I'm gonna survive another year. So, I think this is what I found with the shows that I have been doing, is that people are ready to laugh. They are ready to go out. They're ready to spend time with other people. They're ready to be in that public, that feeling of being like, hey, we're in a room together where we get to experience this thing together. And it's made everything just like a little bit more crisp, just like the feelings of being like, oh, we get to actually go do this stuff, and we're not scared of dying. Of course, now we are again, but but we had a good 2 weeks of not being afraid of death, so it was good. We were fine.
Yeah, those 2 weeks. Remember those, folks, because here we are. Yeah, now we're scared to death again. Thank you for that. And but we need to laugh. And you're right. And I say this to every single comedian who comes on this show. Thank you for what you do. Thank you that you guys are continuing to step up and get out there and be creative in what you do. And laughter is the best medicine. We have to have you. I mean, we have to have this form of, forgive me for saying this, but like escapism from all of this, because so much is put on us today. And all of us, including you guys, obviously, but we're tired and we're weary and people are frightened. And we're like, oh my gosh, can I just forget about this for a minute? Let me click off the news. Let me put on a comedian or some music, something to get our mind focused.
Right. And then like you have kids, I have kids. Everyone has, probably everyone watching this has kids. Listen, we love our kids, love them more than life itself. But sometimes couldn't they shut up? Could they, can I listen to something that's not FGTV or Minecraft or something, just every once in a while.
Yeah, I think like my youngest is 14, and she's decided, she kept telling me, you need to watch Vampire Diaries, Mom. And I was like, oh my God, it's too scary. I can't watch that in a way because I don't like scary stuff. Meanwhile, she got me into Vampire Diaries, right? And she's going back to school tomorrow morning and going to leave me with this. But all of a sudden, and I don't know what happened, but I am so into Vampire Diaries. I'm like escapism, and they're eating each other's necks, and I'm like, yeah, get them, yeah. I mean, what happened to this meek and sweet woman? Now I'm like, oh, good, that person's throat just got bit out. Cool. I mean, I think she needs to go back to school, Josh, because she's changed me. Is the point?
Yeah. Your daughter's a bad influence on you, is what we're finding out.
I need a Bible study. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny. I mean, she's hilarious, and she's been with me for 2 years, and it's going to be amazing because she's been homeschooled now because of all of this. And we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we don't know, our school's going to get shut down, our company's going to get shut down again. But we need to keep ourselves intact. And that's, again, where you guys come in as comedians, to keep us straight and to keep us laughing. Because if we get too far into ourselves, and that depression and anxiety and all those things sink in, we're in trouble. We need you guys now more than ever.
And it's like, so my fiance she's an esthetician. She does, she does facials and spa treatments and eyebrows and lashes, all that stuff. That's why I look so young, is because of her. But that's one of the things that she did, because when we realized that, okay, everything's shutting down, she started doing at-home facial kits for people. Like, hey, here's the thing. Well, I know that you're not able to go see someone right now, but you can still have a little bit of that feeling of relaxation at home. Here's everything you need to do it. So we still do that. So hit me up. Listen, if anybody's watching this, hit me up. She's amazing. If you live in Arizona, you should get an appointment with her. This is me.
Get an appointment, Chandler, Arizona. Yeah. And let's talk a little bit to your website. And they put it back up. I'm going back and forth between sponsors and your website and my website. So joshnovey.ninja. What are they going to find, Josh, when they hit your website?
Just a big picture of me. It's a real offensive pic. No, it's not. They're gonna find how to get a hold of me, how to book shows. There's testimonies on there. There's videos. You can watch videos on there. We're definitely working on some new things here in the future. I can't really talk about them yet because of non-disclosure agreements and stuff, but we do have big things in the works. And it's just, I tell you what, I hate, because with the whole pandemic stuff, and you can't be like, I can't say things until it's happened, because then all of a sudden you could make a movie and it doesn't come out for 10 years. So who knows?
Yeah, I know. I've made several announcements myself, and then things have happened, and people look at you and go, well, I thought you were going to. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. Like, when are you going to do the thing? I don't know.
I know. Like, I'm getting ready to film a movie in October, and I'm not going to be saying anything about anything. I know it was released that I got the lead in this movie, and I'm like, okay, great. But I'm not saying a dang word on social media or anything until that thing's wrapped. Let somebody else market that beast, because I'm not going to say it, because I'm going to look like I have egg on my face, because you never know how delayed you're going to get or what's going to happen. So I don't know.
Absolutely. That's the world. I know that's the world. I mean, obviously in show business, that's kind of been the world a little bit already, but then you add in like 4 more layers of that. And then, so you just, like, some people are like, what are you up to? Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm up to.
I have no idea. I know that I'm making a fool of myself every day I get up. I don't really care. Whatever. That's the life that we live. So
I make a fool of myself all the time. Literally, you can ask my fiance and my kids. I make a fool of myself, like, from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed, whether it doesn't matter if I'm home alone or if we're out in the grocery store, out doing a restaurant, whatever it is. I am acting a fool, and I love every moment of it.
I was going to say, don't you have the best time ever?
Always. Yeah. Why go to a party when you can bring a party with you?
Exactly. I love that. That's exactly right. All right. Tell me one last thing before we go, Josh. It's been so fun having you. And as these things, when you do get, the opportunity to share, please come back, because I want to know the things. Once we're allowed to say certain things, then we will, and we'll tell everybody. But talk really quick about, again, where can people find you in the next month or two? What's going on that we're allowed to talk about?
The big shows, the big shows we have coming up are, if you're in the Chicagoland area, I'm going to be at Willow Creek Church, September 3rd. That's a big church. If you know Chicago, that's a big church, 7,500 seats. We got to fill them. I know, right? And then of course we have some other shows going around there. But then I have another big church in Kansas City. I'll be in Kansas City September 19th. I'll be back here in Arizona for my wedding. Then we'll be on the road. I'll be up in Iowa the October 16th, I think it is. I'll be in Kentucky the October 15th. We're all over the place. Check my website for all this stuff because I'm terrible at letting people know where I am at. That's why we have people. That's why we hire people. So
that's it. And they're the ones that market and they help and do all that. And so make sure that you guys are going to joshnovey.ninja. Get up with everything he has going on. Josh, it has been wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. You're a freaking hoot, man.
Oh, thank you, JoAnn.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night. Bye. Okay, we're totally in love with him now too, and his wife, and he's down the street from my husband's family. So if you get a knock at your door, Josh, it may or may not be me and my family. Just know. But it won't be 120 when we come because that's why I moved out of there, quite frankly. But anyway, make sure, again, you go to joshnovey.ninja. Get up with Josh. He's amazing. He's funny. He's a clean comic. Please book him for private and corporate events. You will not be sorry that you did. I hope you guys are having an amazing night. Please stay safe. Try to stay out of all of the junk, the fighting about, do you have a mask on? Do you not have a mask on? Are you vaccinated? Are you not vaccinated? You know what? Just love each other. How about we do that? Okay. That's just my 2 cents. I know I never said anything before. I'm saying it now. I'm kind of over everybody mad at each other. Let's just live and love. Let's be happy and let's show some grace. Until next time, please be loving and be kind. And above all, be humble. I'll see you next time.
Hello, Tipping Point viewers. My name is David Chuddick, and I'm the host of the Weekly Wealth Podcast, www.weeklywealthpodcast.com, and I am also a financial advisor. If you have anything that's keeping you up at night with regards to your money or finances, email me at david@parallelfinancial.com or check out my Calendly link, www.calendly.com/davidpf. Let's have a 30-minute conversation. Let's talk about what next steps you may have in your financial life.